Good afternoon, listeners. It's Jonathan Takadena here for MPC Markets, and I am bringing this week's edition of Bulls versus Bears, the Global Alpha Edition. Now, it's just me and Finn Judel this week, and I'll take you through the market. So, this is episode 28 of the Global Alpha Edition, and I've named it myself Trump Tariff Theatrics, and you probably heard a little of the drama that unfolded on Friday, and I shall go through that. Now, Finn isn't actually here live with me, but Finn did actually make his debut on Ausbiz this week. So he was on this morning with Andrew, and Finn talked about dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, and actually his favorite crypto, which is actually a TradFi, which actually has a peak. And I'm sure he's actually talked about this in the past, but he's talked about Hyperliquid, which is Hype. And I think that's trading around $28 at the moment and holding in strong while kind of, Bitcoin continues to make lows there. So well done, Finn. And I'm pretty sure it won't be too hard to find that episode on Ausbiz, but I'll post it in the links to the email that I send out to all the listeners, and I'll post it on Mosaic as well. So the Trump tariff theatrics. So just in summary, the Supreme Court came out on Friday saying that Trump's tariffs were illegal, meaning that he just can't willy-nilly just impose tariffs out there. And the market said, okay, great, no worries. Over the weekend, though, Trump came out and said, I'm just going to put a blanket 10% tariff on everybody. And then he changed his mind again and actually has raised that to 15%. So at the moment, it's a blanket 15% increase. Oh, sorry, not increase. Blanket 15% tariff on everybody that does trade with the USA. And in the Supreme Court rulings as well, it was mentioned that there was no actual talk about refunds of current or any tariffs that have been paid already. So basically, there's a lot of confusion about. I think MPC Markets was asked, will this increase the volatility? And in short, yes. Anytime Trump is in the headlines, it actually does increase volatility out there. And with the ball being pretty much put back into Trump's court for him to deal with the Supreme Court ruling, we now have more uncertainty out there on what the actual tariffs will be, what's going to be the final amount, and what he's going to do for each individual country. And of course, Trump is actually fairly busy because if you track the military industrial complex, which is what the USA is all about, they've got the largest fleet hovering outside of Iran, and anytime they've amassed this amount of military power, they have basically attacked as well. So or liberated, if you want to name it that. So here we have this is the E-mini futures in the US. So over here, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but this is when Asian markets opened. It was fairly muted, but then it's constantly sold off as the rest of Asia kicks into gear. I'm recording this at roughly about 3 o'clock in the afternoon Sydney time. So China's been open for a few hours. We are heading into the final hours of our own trading session, which means the final hours of Japan. And that means London opens up in a couple of hours. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So that's a 5-minute chart on the E-mini futures. But if you look at, I actually don't have the, next one. No, I will go back. But if you look at the daily on the E-minis, it's actually still within that very broad range, which the E-minis have been for, guessing I'm going on 3 months now. We are talking a large range here, but it does look like that this will send the index to the lower end of the range. And you might have seen a little preview there. I actually took a snippet of the Pentagon Pizza Index. We had a discussion about this on Friday with Mark and Kai. And for those not familiar, we're now in DoCon 3. So there's actually 4 levels. So DoCon 4 means we're at peace. With the amount of activity in pizzas being ordered around the Pentagon, we're now into DoCon 3. And basically, these sort of threat levels, which is based off the DefCon levels, the higher the number is actually the more safer we are. The lower the number, which is the lowest number being 1, means that we are in danger of actual war breaking out. So what I will actually do now is actually just switch over to some charts, and I will actually just show you some intraday action on the charts itself. So I will bring up this window. Here we go. So here is the intraday charts here on the E-mini S&P. What I actually want to bring up is the index here on the SPY. So you can see the SPY actually gapped up and made new highs before trading open. But now that we've been trading throughout the day, you see that heavy sell-off in our markets. Now, the thing is, our markets is heavy commodities, and it doesn't actually have a huge tech sector or healthcare. So the fact that it's sold off means that even the commodities are selling off here, or the sector has led the charge. So if you have a look at some of the tech names here, like a Zero. So this is Zero. You can just see that's sold off here and at its lows for the day. Wise Tech as well. Here you go. So that's made new lows here in the we're now in the 44s for Wise Tech. So that's been quite a bit of a sell-off. Some of the Pro Medicus, so you can see that massive sell-off in Pro Medicus down to the 116s. So what that actually means is that there should be a bit of a sell-off in the Mag 7 tonight, just depending on what sector you're in. So if you have a look at some of the names, Tesla, that at the bottom end of the range, that's actually looking, probably one of the better ones for the Mag 7. But Apple, I know that's been selling off. It actually bounced on the Friday. So yeah, at the lower end of the range. Let's have a look at Amazon. That was at the bottom end of the range and actually bounced there. So yeah, it looks like these Mag 7 stocks all jumped on Friday. But we should see a bit of selling pressure into that space. So while I'm here, I'll actually look at CRM, which is Salesforce. And that's been beaten down on the back of this. So you can see that's actually at its lows and making new lows. That actually has earnings coming out this week. And obviously the big one this week, we've got NVIDIA earnings this week as well. So that's been in the middle of the range. That comes out, I believe, their Wednesday night. So it'll be out Thursday morning. And obviously still the largest company in the world. And it'll be interesting to see if they're able to get some fresh buying into this stock, because that's pretty much what we need for this AI rally to continue. So with that, that's actually the brief edition of the Bulls versus Bears Global Alpha Edition. If you have any questions about the show, please send them in. And I'll just go back to the actual. So there's the pizza index then. And then what we'll do now is this. If you actually want to get these recommendations or sort of our insights in real time, best look up on mpcmarkets.com.au/mosaic. It's our platform that Kai built with the help of AI, just so that we can get our information, which what we're kind of good at MPC here is that because of our experience, we have a good noise to information filter here. So, excuse me, we're able to filter out a lot of what isn't necessary to make a trading decision, and sort of just filter that down into some tradable, actionable bites for the readers out there. We're offering a 1-month free trial on Mosaic, so reach out to us and ask for a free trial, and we shall send that out to you. So with that, Jonathan Takadena signing out here, and any questions, please feel free to reach out to us here at MPC Markets. And thank you.